you find yourself getting injured and wondering if you can still go to the gym? Well, look no further than this video. I'll be telling you guys what I personally do when I am injured and I still want to go to the gym. I'd like to preface, this is not medical advice. This is just my personal anecdotal evidence. Without further ado, I'm going to show you guys what to do when you're injured and you still want to go to the gym. All right, everybody, we're going to be doing another voiceover video. I'm going to be going over my 4 points, tips, and tricks of what to do when you're injured and you still want to go to the gym. I like to say this is not medical advice, and this is just exactly what I do, and I would suggest seeking a doctor if you feel any tingling, numbing, or weakness that persists, and if you cannot walk or if it affects your daily life. For the very first point of if you want to go to the gym, but you are injured, I would say not all injuries are the same. Is it an injury that's occurring at the gym, or is it outside the gym? The reason I say that these are all treated differently is because they all can occur different ways. If it's something that occurs at the gym, I would look at our training volume, I would look at the fatigue, I would look at my sleep, I would look at my nutrition, and I look at all those sort of things. If it's something outside of the gym, like you slip and fall and hit your tailbone, now that is a different story. And this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about in this video. If you guys don't know, I am a powerlifter, so benching is very crucial to me. And recently, I had a shoulder injury that occurred while I was playing basketball earlier this week when I collided with somebody. I felt a crunch and a pop within my shoulder and some immediate numbness and tingling that ran down my arm. Now, those subsided fairly quickly, which led me to believe it is not neurological. So that is why I am making this video for you guys. The second tip for this video is you need to take rest. Now, if an injury had just occurred and you are wondering, can I go to the gym tomorrow? I would suggest taking a rest day the next day. Recovering the best way you can, which is getting your sleep. So do not neglect your sleep, do not neglect your nutrition, your food, and your water. If I had hurt my shoulder on Monday, and then Tuesday I had bench press, I would not recommend going and trying to hit the exact same weights you were going to hit on Tuesday as you had previously planned. The third tip that I'm going to be giving to you guys today, this is going to be more of an extensive one, that is pain-free movement is medicine. This is not going to be medicine for all injuries. Some injuries, movement is not going to fix. If you have a broken bone, if you had a concussion, if anything that is occurring that I stated at the beginning of this video, I would not recommend movement being medicine. Now you may be asking, why is pain-free movement medicine? Why should I be moving it if it's injured? Because your body is meant to move. And any movement that does not elicit any pain or pain that is below on the pain scale out of 10, less than a 2/3, is movement that you should keep doing. This is within reason. I do not want you doing a movement that causes a 5, 10, 8 out of 10 pain because you are more than likely injuring yourself more. So with my shoulder, I took 2 days off. I hit legs on Tuesday, and I didn't do any movement Wednesday that involved my shoulders outside of golf. So today is Thursday, and I'm finally bench pressing. Now, I had not tested out bench press prior to today, so I'm taking my warm-ups very, very slowly. The bar to 1 plate to 2 plates, which is my normal jump. However, I am moving very gingerly when I am benching. I am not throwing the weight aggressively around because I do not want to injure my shoulder. I would also like to preface the only reason I am doing any of these movements is because the pain is less than a 2/3 out of 10. You do not want your body to become locked up because then that is when we start to have more issues. So let's say you injure your knee. You get a bruise on your knee from falling on your knee and you don't move it for 2 weeks. Now, all of a sudden, you're trying to go walking again. You're trying to do some leg extensions. Your knee and your legs are going to feel extremely fatigued and extremely tired and extremely deconditioned. It's going to feel a lot more tiring and it's going to be a lot more difficult to do a leg extension or if you want to go walking than when you previously had before you injured it. Instead of maybe just taking a day off and then getting back to the gym and doing lighter movements, you now have to restructure your whole program because you decided to not use that limb, that joint, for an extended period of time. Now again, this is only saying if you just fell and hit your knee and you know it's a bruise and you don't need imaging and you're like, I just don't really feel like moving it. That is for those situations. If you fell and you believe you had broken your kneecap or if you had fractured something, I would suggest going to seeing a doctor immediately. And now for my fourth and my final part. This is you must adjust your workout and your plan. So I know this is going to be kind of that mental battle that you're going to have with yourself saying, oh, I don't want it bad enough. Oh, I'm in the gym. I need to be pushing myself constantly. That is not true. I say you have to move it because movement is medicine. That doesn't mean you push yourself to an RPE 8 or an RPE 9/10 out of 10 because that can just lead to more injury. Because again, despite you being able to move it, that doesn't mean that it is 100% healthy. So how do I go about this? You can either drop the reps, decrease the weight, and or the sets. For me personally, I've done all three because I have had shoulder problems in the past and I know that I am susceptible to more shoulder injuries. This is a healing period, so there is no need to push yourself. There is no need to set a new PR. There is no need if I drop the reps, I need to increase the weight or I need to increase the sets. No, you do not need to do that. All I'm suggesting is instead of doing 285 like I was supposed to do, drop it by 10 pounds if you're feeling it. 25 didn't move well. I probably wouldn't have done anything more. I would have done 225 or I would have done less. Or you just decrease the reps. You know I like to do 6 reps, 4 to 6 reps each set. And if I was like, wow, I'm not really feeling it today, it doesn't feel too good, maybe I'll just do 4 reps and I would decrease the weight. Or instead of doing 2 sets, I would just do 1 set. Because again, you are not trying to re-injure yourself. Because again, when you do use your muscles, you are fatiguing them, and that is taking away from the healing process. That is why when we do movements, we want to do nice, light, easy, and controlled movements that are not going to fatigue us too much. That is why we also want them to be on a pain scale out of 2/3 out of 10, because that is not a significant jump within the pain. Now, the biggest thing that you're probably going to be thinking to yourself, I am not progressing. But do not feel like that. And that is a lot easier said than done, because I've also felt like this, I'm not progressing. I even felt like that today. Why am I even here right now? I'm not even progressing. You really are, because you are showing yourself that you're able to use that body part. You are able to use your muscles, that joint, that limb, to a capability that you may not have believed you could have. So instead of keeping it still and keeping it locked in a place where it's not moving and not doing its job, you are actually showing your body, okay, it is okay to move. It is okay to use this. So in that regard, you are progressing. You are getting better. You may not be progressing in your program, but you are progressing in your body. We want to create a healthy and safe mind that we know what we are capable of. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is going to do it for the video. I know this one was fairly short. I just wanted to go ahead and make this video because this is something that I'm going through, and I wanted to just let you guys know my thoughts and opinions as somebody who is going through this stage of their life, and I also wanted to just share my experience with you guys as I'm going through this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, be better than yesterday, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.